Are you ready to elevate your school spirit? Look no further than onecampusco.com. Whether you're in the classroom, on the field, or cheering from the stands, we're dedicated to bringing academics, athletics, alumni, and fans together. Founded by our alumni-owned parent company, One Chapter in 2021, we recognize the need for quality apparel at reasonable prices and created a shopping experience that connects fans with their university. Join us in showcasing your pride and giving back to your community. With onecampusco.com, you're not just a student, athlete, or fan, you're part of a vibrant family. Together, let's celebrate what makes our university special. Visit us at www.charlotte.onecampusco.com using promo code HWY49 for 10% off.
The man himself, Elijah Spencer, man. Welcome back to the pod, bro. We appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you for having me, Hunter.
Yeah, man, it's been some time, but you've done nothing but grow since we talked last, man. And I gotta say, this is the first thing. You out here doing celebrations and shit now, man. What's going on?
Right, I had to add it to my repertoire. You see the NIL days, things starting to change up. I had to add some sellers to my bag. Y'all know that's not my style, but might as well be now.
Yeah, it was awesome to see the where you did the dab, where you brought the dab back. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out Cam Newton, man. I was supposed to crazy because we was talking about it all week with our OC and whatnot. I was supposed to do the whole camp celebration. He did the Superman, he did the dab, and he hit them folks all in the same play. In
Yep.
my head, I'm like, that's a lot of time. They might throw a flag. I don't know
Got
about
got to win the game, man. Yeah, no doubt.
right.
But what a way to go out, man. A couple touchdowns, 6 catches, 81 yards. How did it feel to be playing back in Charlotte and then A and then B to perform so well?
Yeah, no doubt. As soon as we got the news that we're going to play in Charlotte, that's what it was between a couple bowl games, but I knew that Charlotte was on the table. I was crossing my fingers that we had a chance to go down to Charlotte just so my family was able to, get to see me play one last time. But even getting down there, it was a little bit colder than I expected. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Me spending some time in Charlotte, everybody was looking towards me, asking me questions about the city, asking me questions about this. And everybody was just harping on how cold it was. I'm like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not used to this either. It's a
Yeah.
little bit of a strange year. But besides the weather, I love Charlotte. Just being able to be back in that city, that environment, it was something special. Kind of brought it was like a nostalgic feeling. I spent so much time here, did a whole bunch of work here in the Carolinas. So just to be back, it felt amazing.
I'm blanking on the name right now, but did you hit that seafood joint you like? Ah, what is it called? Blanking.
Lulu's.
Yes, Lulu's. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, when I tell you, as soon as we got to our hotel, they gave us some free time to go get some food, walk around the city or whatnot before our meeting. The first place I went to was Lulu. Now I'm
Yep.
telling you, I went straight there, smashed it.
Love it, man. So I gotta ask. So next steps for you, we talked a little bit off air, but NFL draft, man, that's the dream. We talked about that before, and now you're kind of getting to realize that. So what does that look like for you? What do the next few months look like for you prepping for that next step?
Yeah, no doubt. These next few months it's going to be straight work. A lot of networking in between as well. Working with my team, trying to get my name out there. But on my side of things, I'm just going to be working my tail end off, doing everything I can to prepare to show out at pro day, shave numbers down, run routes crisp, catch the ball clean, do everything to up my stock and make sure that GMs say that we want him on our team. That's my goal, and that's what I'm setting out to do. So I'm down here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, right now, training with Game Face Chris Chambers. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that name, but he's a Miami's Dolphins legend around here. So getting some working with him positionally, then working with a speed and strength team to work on my body and my craft, which I'm uber excited about. I just got down here, so the work starts on Monday. But I've been able to see the facilities, meet everybody on the staff, on the team. And I'm surrounded by great people, so I'm excited.
Definitely, man. You might have to check in with Grant DuBose while you're down there too.
You best believe it.
Yeah, man. See, looking back on some of the Niner days, I just saw Healy. Will Healy took a job as East Tennessee's head coach, and a few of those guys are moving there. That's wild to see. Uh,
Yeah. Shout out to them, man. Shout out to Coach Hilly.
yeah, man. Curious, have you followed like the show Charlotte program much? Like, I obviously been busy in Minnesota, but curious if you kind of see what's going on with them.
Yeah, I've been able to keep up a little bit. I see there was a coaching staff change. I saw some of the work that was done last year and this year. A lot of guys that I played with, they parted as well. I would say it's only a handful of guys that
Dude.
I know on the roster right now. But I know that they're trying to bring in talent and whatnot, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like personal, but like 2022 with Charlotte was kind of the last year where a lot of those familiar faces were there, man. Ever since like 2023, Biff Poggi comes in, 70 plus new players, whole new staff, and now it's trending that direction again this year, man. But I guess that's college football today.
It's college football for you.
So talk to us about the time at Minnesota though, man. Obviously a couple seasons under PJ Fleck. What was that like playing in the Big Ten, getting to play in some of those big time environments that you thrived in, even at Charlotte?
Yeah, no doubt. I'd say my time at Minnesota was I got to see, both sides of the wire. My first year it wasn't as productive as everybody thought it would be, or even I thought it would be. But I kept faith in God, and after that first season, I had the opportunity to either test my luck again in the transfer portal, go somewhere else, and quote unquote make it easier for myself, or stick through the rain. Test my ability, test my strength. Stay where I am. I built a family up there with my teammates, and I didn't want to let anybody down, especially by leaving. I knew that I was capable. Like I've said in every interview, I'm uber capable in my abilities. It's just about the opportunity that's presented. My first year there, I wasn't presented a whole bunch of opportunities. But my second year, I knew the role that I was stepping into, and the opportunity was going to be there. It's just about what I would do with it. And as you see, my production jumped. And if you turn the film on, you get to see some retro Elijah Spencer for all the Charlotte fans out there.
Yeah, man. I totally hear what you're saying though. Going from 943, 9 touchdowns at Charlotte, first year Minnesota, just 9 catches, and then you see that work come to fruition, 684 yards, 6 touchdowns, and you cap it off with the Duke's Mayo Bowl MVP. Would you have taken a Mayo bath if they were gonna give you one?
I despise Mayo. I
Yo, me too, me too.
And when we were on the sideline on the game, we have tablets now, so we get to watch the film on the sideline. We'll come up to the sideline and watch the TV copy of the game. And every time I'm trying to look at the play, and I'm watching the commentators eat mayo off of whatever ice cream, whatever it may be. And I'm like, all right, bro, this is enough. Like this is.
I mean, it's like I think the coolest bowl probably that's like outside of the playoff and whatnot is the Pop-Tart Bowl, just because of all the marketing around it. But I do like that Charlotte has something that you get to see coaches like Mac Brown and then PJ Fleck, guys like that get Mayo baths. Because yeah, I'm out on that shit for sure.
I don't understand how they do that. That's disgusting.
Yeah, nah. Uh, So talking about that next step for you, man, that NFL step. I knowing you for past 4 years, I know you'd play anywhere you got taken. But if you could pick a dream city or somewhere fun you'd want to play, man, what is kind of a spot that is attractive to you?
Let me start by saying I will play anywhere.
Yeah.
That picks me up. I'm beyond grateful. But you know that staying close to family is a big part of me, especially since they gave so much to me. I want to be able to give them the experience to see what they raised. So staying in the Carolinas is I say it's pretty neat, or even close in Georgia. But I wouldn't be mad at going out far
Yeah.
to West Coast, or even up north. Um, my taste palette is very wide. I got a wide variety, but I
Yeah,
say
man.
top would be around closer to the crib for sure.
Definitely. I'll never forget I asked Grant that question the year before he went to the draft. He said, "Man, I want to go West Coast. I want to go somewhere warm." And then they draft him in Green Bay, where it's cold as hell. So
Right. That was
it
the first thing I got to teasing him because he got on me about going up to Minnesota and it being cold. And once he ended up at Green Bay, right back at you, Dubo.
yeah, man. Yeah. One thing with this season with Charlotte, man, so you tied the touchdown record program history with 9 in 2022. Uh, Grant had 9 that year as well. Charlotte had a guy this year, Omega Blake. I'm not sure if you followed him. He had 9 touchdowns and 800 yards on 32 catches, man. It was just fade ball after fade ball after fade ball. But if it wasn't, it was different, man. Watching the offenses, the way that Chris operated, you guys attack kind of that short to intermediate parts of the field, and then next thing you know, it's a slot fade to you or to Grant or Vic or whomever. But this year, man, it was if it wasn't a screen pass, it was a deep ball. So I'm curious, did you get to watch any Charlotte games at all, and what were kind of your thoughts on them this year, man?
Yeah, actually, Omega is one of my guys. He
Yeah,
grew up in Hill, so I actually got to play against him in high school. So
that's what's
there's
up.
some of that competitive nature right there. And he went to school in South Carolina in his early years, so that's right there in my backyard. So anytime I was home, I was able to stop by and say what's up to him. But I spent some time with Omega, so I was keeping up with Omega along with some other guys. So yeah, I got to see some of the attack on offense, and Jason Barnes is
Yeah,
is one of my solid guys, the one who taught me the game of football. So I had to keep up with that receiver room. I saw some of the work they were doing, taking them shots down the field. I say it was pretty nice to see that back in the Charlotte uniform, seeing that ball aired out.
yeah.
So that was pretty sweet, I will say.
Yeah, they had a guy. Uh, I know you know Trex. Trex even played a lot this year. They were in that quarterback cycle pretty much, but they found this guy Purdy. He landed at Florida. Now Omega's at Arkansas. And your guy Jason Barnes, I think he's at Western Kentucky, and I think Nono followed him.
Yep, yep. I know Nono and his brother up there now. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's another one, man, where it's like another familiar face. Like Charlotte's gonna be looking brand new, man.
Grand.
We've talked about it before, but I do want to share with the listeners, man. Talking about guys in the NFL, who are some of the guys that you watch, some of the as as we would say like free game out there that you enjoy watching, and even favorite players, man.
I say as of recently, it's been Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
I know everybody's been on his high horse and whatnot. Well, I never really wanted to, ride the bandwagon, but I was able to go to a couple games in my time in Minnesota and see what the hype was all about. And him and Jordan Addison are some ball players. I
yeah,
will say
man.
that. Justin Jefferson up there for sure. But I'm a Julio guy. I'm a
Yeah,
Julio guy. No matter how old he is, I'm gonna keep up with him regardless. Julio. I know. It's a lot of guys, but Grant Dubose up there too. That's somebody I look up to as well, on and off the field. That's a dude right there.
yeah, man.
Um, but yeah, you see some guys around the league who are making a name for themselves. Like that kid for the Raiders. He's starting to pop out as well. I forget his name, number 18, number 16.
I'm blanking on it too, man. I should
Yeah,
know
but I
this.
saw some I saw him crafting this year. It was pretty sweet to see some guys who are not as noticeable start to, make a name for themselves.
Absolutely, man. And to close, man, one of the last few questions I got. Looking back, obviously 2 years at Charlotte, 2 years at Minnesota. Can you give us a favorite memory from each spot?
Um, 1,000%. My favorite memory from Charlotte was coming from my freshman year. Looking back, I kind of like I didn't put any pressure on myself as a freshman. I just went out there and played my game, my style of ball. Um, and the game that I will remember for the rest of my life is that Rice game.
Yeah,
Um,
walk off.
Man, going into that game, because we played, I want to say Western Kentucky the week before. And I had suffered an AC sprain in my shoulder. And I wasn't very sure about, how many snaps I was going to get in this Rice game. So I wasn't too optimistic about the game. But it's just something about that competitive nature. Like the juices just get to flowing once you see that you're in a tight ball game and like you just want the ball in your hands to win the game. And I had to flush all the pain and realize what was at stake. And that was like people say flow state. I was in my flow state that game. So that's one memory I will remember forever from Charlotte. Um, and the Duke game, just as far as fan interaction, the Duke game for sure.
Yeah.
That's what that set it off for me too. That was my first game in Charlotte. Just
Yeah.
being able to love and everything. That was a big one.
Well, they hadn't
Uh,
figured out what you could do yet at that point. I know. Yeah.
right
Yeah.
on. Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't long after that though. They picked up.
Amen. And then I say at Minnesota by far this Duke Mayo game.
Yeah.
It was just a full circle for me. Playing in Charlotte in front of my family, what less than 20 miles from campus. It was just full circle. And I say that those two experiences right there, top tier.
Yeah, man. I saw y'all got to go to the speedway. Y'all got to like race the cars or anything, or what was that like?
Let me tell you something, man. I don't know. I didn't sign no disclosure saying I couldn't speak on this, but I didn't get in no car. I was a little spooked out. I'm not gonna lie. We were all standing in the line, to wait our turn to get in the car, do a couple laps. It was sweet, standing in line, hearing how loud it was, seeing everybody get out of the car. It was like, oh. But then our quarterback, Max Brosmer, got in it. And he hit a lap, and then he gets to like the opposite side, and all you see is just smoke in the air. I'm like,
Oh
whoa.
shit.
I'm like, whoa, And then next thing you know, the engine in the car blew out. So now
Uh
he almost spun out. And I think the same thing happened with Coach Fleck when he was in the car. The engine blew out whenever Max Brosman, our quarterback, was in there. I'm like, yeah, I'm not risking it. I'm gone.
yeah.
I watch from a distance.
Yeah. Nah, that's crazy. I've always wanted to do that. So when I saw you there, I was like, damn. But
I think you should though. That's a cool little experience.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely, dude. Well, dude, I gotta say, appreciate you making the time to do this, man. We're always rooting for you here in Charlotte, and it's gonna be fun to follow the NFL career, man. I guess last thing I got is we've talked about it before, but you have a very specific warm up before games, and if for a while it was with Trex, what was it like in Minnesota, and what's kind of the music that you're listening to when you're getting ready to go out?
I had to change my routine a little bit once I get up to Minnesota.
Yeah, it's too cold. You can't be out there so long, man.
Right, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I had to, there's a couple rules that, we got to follow as a program, just as a brotherhood. Um, we don't listen to any music pre-game as a collective. Of course, everybody can get in their zone how they want to get in their zone. And you know what I'm gonna turn on? Lil Wayne. That's what's playing
Yep,
in my headphones as soon as we walk into that locker room until the game start. But as far as on the field, we go through a routine as a wide receiver group with our coach. So we'll go through the routine. But after that, I get right with Max Brosmer, our quarterback at the time, and then we'll go through our routine. Hit the routes that we usually hit. It's probably 3 or 4 routes that we're gonna do every pregame, and then whatever the game plan may be for that day, I'll just spot catch those, and then end it with the fade balls. I say the fade balls is the routine that isn't set in stone. That's like that's the test right there to see how activated your hands are, just to see how locked in you are. So hit a fade ball once it feels crisp, jog off to the locker room. It's game time.
yep, no doubt, man. And I did think of one more, man. I need a college football playoff prediction. Who's gonna win it all, and a Super Bowl prediction, man. Who you got?
I'm not gonna lie, I got Notre
Oh,
Dame
I
with the
got.
I hear
I
that.
Notre Dame play. They weathered the storm last night, man. That game was crazy.
I was actually on a flight during that game before we took off. Penn State was up, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yep.
Yeah, landed, and look how the tables turned. It was pretty sweet to see that. So I think Notre Dame will pull it off. The head coach over there is doing some great things, so I think they'll be able to finish strong. Um, but the other side of the bracket is going to give them some trouble for sure. They got some explosive offenses over there.
Yeah, I'll be
Uh,
tuning into that in about
hey,
an hour. Yeah.
right there with you. Yep, yep. Give me some Caribbean food to kick my feet up and watch the game.
Yeah, man.
As far as
How
that
about the
league,
Super Bowl pick?
as far as that league, It's some very talented teams. I would say the Eagles, just because based off talent, you have to say the Eagles. But I'm sorry, brother. Them Lions gonna take it all the way.
Yeah,
They ain't rolling right now.
yeah. I am worried about the Lions.
Yeah,
But they're kind of on like opposite ends of the spectrum though. Like the Lions, you hear all the time how many guys they got on IR, how many out for the season, and the Eagles have all 22 week one starters. So it's
about
uh,
it. But you see for the Lions, so some of those guys who got pulled up, they're stepping up.
they're
They're playing
playing
some big
good.
time ball. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we gonna see.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. All that gets rolling, I guess Saturday, yeah, tomorrow. But
Yep.
as always, dude, we appreciate you, man, and we'd definitely love to have you back on in the future, man. But good luck training, getting right, and good luck when draft time rolls around.
But I appreciate you, boss. Big time.
Yes, sir.
So.